Well, good evening, everyone. See, look, it's nighttime here in Australia. Thanks for joining us for the September monthly challenge chat. With me, as always, Laurie.
Hi.
Got up super early to be here, and we got back as usual as well, the lovely Knitty Nat Stitches.
Hello.
We have a lot to talk to you about, so you better sit back, get a coffee, and chillax. I just realised it's so dark. I better put my other light on. So
illumination.
Making noise.
Oh, you're great, Lisa.
Nothing like starting with that. Is that better though? You can see me now. Okay, so we're going to shuffle things around. And there's actually a new group that we mentioned to you about 2 weeks ago that's called the Pop Culture Challenges. And we did quickly mention them, but we didn't go through any detail. And this is a new group that anyone can join, and they're going to change up each month about what parts of pop culture they're going to do. So this month it's particular movies. They're going to be looking at music. They're going to be looking at a whole range of different things to do with pop culture. So we're actually going to start by talking about that. And I know from my point of view, that's going to drive my plans for the month. So Laurie, what are we going to do for pop culture?
Okay, pop culture. There's several events, so I'm going to start and just list them one by one. So All About the Movies is a fun one, and it starts September 1st, of course. And the prompt is basically from 1986 to 2005. We will be exploring the different movies that were released in the month of September. There's a list of 20 titles. Do your best to come up with a whip that either ties into what the movie is about or the title. If you aren't sure what the movie is about, Google it or use IMDb.
And I could say when I Googled them, because I didn't know lots of them, it's like, I'm going to have to make this my binge watching lockdown movies. You'll probably think that too, Nat, when you hear all the movies. It's like, oh, I know that one. And some you don't know. It's like, oh, I should watch that.
Okay, cool.
All right. What do we got first, Laurie?
And the first one is 1986 Crocodile Dundee.
Okay. Well, 1986 and Crocodile Dundee.
Okay.
I know exactly what Natalie's going to. Oh, you can't pick it. Oh,
I can't pick it, but you can do it.
No, I'm not picking it for that.
See, what?
I know, but I've got a reason. It'll come clear.
Oh.
So I'm just looking for the picture. Oh, well, here's a picture. I'm actually going to do my sampler because it has a map of Australia.
Yes.
And Crocodile Dundee was filmed in Australia. Because I really want to get that finished. So that's going to be one of my first things I do. Natalie, so we were thinking of Anzac for anyone who's not in our brains and thinking inside our brains, but
yeah,
Natalie finished hers.
I did finish mine, so that's leaving me. Oof.
Anything with crocodiles?
No, but when I heard Crocodile Dundee, I'm sort of thinking something with cutlery, because of course one of the famous quotes is, "That's not a knife."
Yes. Do you have any cutlery?
And I think if I went for cutlery, no.
Which we've learnt the other day on my floss tube is called dinnerware or tableware for people on the other side of the world.
Okay, there we go. But I don't have anything with tableware. So I'm going to have to go with something that would normally have sharp teeth, in which case I've got, I just moved it. There we go. My little teacup dragon.
That would work.
And I will turn down the brightness. So
and he's green like a crocodile.
Yeah, he's green. Ish,
yes. And we should just say, people, that Natalie has absolutely no idea about these prompts. So you're getting the actual real Natalie brainwork.
This is you can hear the cogs churning, yeah.
And that's why I'm going first, because give Natalie time to turn those cogs. All right, Laurie, what do you got?
I would have to do World Travel Bookshelf. And for a couple of reasons. Doesn't he travel to America?
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
travels to New York. Yeah.
Okay, New York is right here. So
Mm.
that is why I would use world travel.
Mm.
Beautiful.
Good.
And again, I think it's the sort of challenge group that if you can explain it and it makes sense, you'll get it.
That's right.
Cool.
The next movie is 1987, Fatal Attraction.
Fatal Attraction. Okay. So as I said, I had to Google a few of these.
Mhm.
I've not seen this.
You
And
have
Michael Douglas and Glenn Close, I believe.
It's a very well-known movie.
It's very well known, but I've not seen it.
No. Well, for me, I Googled it just to make sure I get some idea. And it's about a guy, this is a really simple explanation, who is stalking a really pretty blonde girl.
Okay.
So my Alice is a really pretty blonde girl that I felt looked a fair bit like the main actress in the movie when I looked at the pictures.
Okay. Well, I can work with a really pretty blonde girl and go with Iris.
Oh, yes.
I can't. Did you watch it, Lisa? Because
Not yet.
Michael Douglas has a wife, and I believe he has an affair, and the lady he has an affair with gets fatally attracted to him and starts kind of harassing the couple, which is really hard. And there's a few scenes in there where you could like tie it to like water or something like that. I honestly have nothing because I don't do a whole lot of people in my whips. So I would have to do, I'm going to get creative for those people that don't have whips. I'm waiting for my picture to show up on my computer screen so I can share. I'm going to say this Kraken has a fatal attraction to the ship, and I'm going to explain it out. And then there's a water scene in there, but that's the closest I can get.
Well, it's got the word in it.
We'll see if it works.
Yeah.
You can only try, can't you?
That's true. Okay, 1988, Gorillas in the Mist.
Okay. Well, you are going to have absolutely no surprise whatsoever when you know my whips to know that what was the first thing that came to my mind for Gorillas in the Mist. There you go. There's a gorilla up in the top left.
Sure is.
Animal Kingdom bookshelf. So I don't even know if I've seen Gorillas in the Mist, but it's got the name gorilla in the title, so I'm going with the gorilla.
Well, from what I understand about Gorillas in the Mist is it also focuses on the story of Jane Goodall, and Jane is English, so I would go with my Life is an Open Book, London. That's the only string I can draw.
Yes. I am going to go with Stream at Dar Haven because it is a nature preserve, and Gorillas in the Mist happens in nature or the jungle. Not the right type of jungle, but still the idea is there.
Yeah.
The next movie is 1989, Black Rain.
Have any of you guys seen this one?
No.
I Googled it, and it's basically, you'll like this one, Natalie. The main theme I got from reading Google was it's to do with Japanese culture and you know, like an American going to Japan or something. You know, that's my memory remembering it. So I thought, well, I'm drawing a straw here. I could do a Japanese one, but it's not one of my 21, whereas my Chinese garden mandala is. And a lot of the Chinese gardens in here remind me of Japanese gardens. So I'm going with the Oriental Asian flavour to draw my link to the Japanese culture of the movie.
Oh, well, I have a whip called The Scent of Lilies. And that's from a Japanese story about a schoolgirl.
You haven't worked on that one for a while, so that would be...
No, I don't think I've worked on it and since February, so it's been a while. I need to get that and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would do world travel bookshelf again because of the New York and travel over to, there's some pictures in from Asia. So that's
Now,
what
did we actually say how many stitches for this?
Oh, I should have mentioned that. It's 100 stitches for 2 points.
Yeah, so you get 2
Okay.
points for every 100 stitches. So if you want to do 1,000, you get more points. So it's
Okay.
really one of those ones, do what you want and add it up, which is wonderful.
Yes.
Cool.
Mhm. Okay, and the next one is 1990, Don't Tell Her It's Me.
All right, seen this one, anyone?
No.
No. As I said, there's a whole bunch of lockdown movies here now. So the main guy is a cartoonist. Okay? I have cartoons. That's my link.
Okay, cartoonist. Okay, I can go a couple of ways. I could also do my other, do my Among Us whip, but I could also do something from Autumn Lane Stitchery. Oh, turn down the brightness. Because the designer, Aaron, is a cartoonist.
Oh.
That was his profession before he started
That's a good one.
creating Crossstitch.
There you go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There is more to this movie than just him being a cartoonist, by the way, but that was just my link that I found. And went,
Okay.
Okay, a couple of ways I would go. I think there's an airport scene, so I would go back to world travel because there's an airplane in it.
Mhm.
But I have one shade that is, I'm going to show it here. Featured art from Critter Valley, which is like illustration, like a cartoon character. So I
Yeah.
might go that way as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I do like that project of yours.
Thank you. So the next movie is 1991, Necessary Roughness.
Okay, there's actually a fairly good theme running through a lot of these movies about American sports. I guess it's something to do with September. Is September a very important sport time, Laurie?
Start of football season.
Right. So this is the cover from Necessary Roughness. And I think it's about a sporting team and blah, blah, blah. But basically, they're a flying armadillo. Right? So, Natalie, does that make sense why I chose to go with Anzac for the flying armadillo? Because I'm sure there's some anteaters and things that are a bit like an armadillo in there.
You've got an echidna in the top right corner.
There you go. There's my armadillo-ish creature. So Anzac had to move to take the armadillo space.
I am totally stumped.
Okay, I'll give you a bit more information. I think this is the one where there's a girl comes to join the team to try and get them out of their doldrums and their losing streak.
Right.
Don't know if that helps at all, but there's
Right.
more than just the armadillo.
Okay.
And it's a Texas football team, like a school.
Yeah. I have absolutely nothing at this stage. I would not know what to pull out.
No, well, you
No, I'm going to be a pass.
This took me a few hours to come through. And again, all these challenges are just, you get points for whatever you do. It's not a you have to do all 20.
Okay, cool.
So you don't have to if you don't want to.
Correct. I don't have anything either, but I think anything related to Texas or students or something with a schoolhouse in it, especially if you're doing like a town or something like that, that might work as well. But
And when you say Texas, what comes to my mind is actually a cow. So you could possibly do your cozy cove with your cows in that back paddock that we found a while ago.
maybe so. Yeah. Thank you. Do you want me to show it?
If you want to.
Yeah.
Point out where those cows are hiding.
Why not?
Why not? Well, everyone wants to see all our whips.
So this, I'll blow it up a little bit.
There's the cow.
Way back there, there's a cow.
It's 3 or 4 cows, really.
Yeah. Okay. So next one, 1992, Last of the Mohicans.
Okay, I think I've seen it. Don't remember the story, but I went off the title and my memory of it, and it being very generic, but Mohicans being a native Indian population on the northern continent of America. And I just thought these two guys here looked like they could be some sort of native people. So my link is native people.
Mhm.
From what I can recall, Last of the Mohicans is a sports movie again. Is that right?
No, it's about set in the French and Indian War.
Well, there we go. I am totally way off, aren't I?
Okay.
We've got a lot to watch.
No, I'm thinking Last of something else.
Okay.
Mhm.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And I have nothing. I have
French.
nothing.
French. You got something
Mhm.
French?
Oh, yeah, Veronique Enginger.
There you go.
There we
French
go.
artist.
So
One
I
of the
would,
characters.
yeah, I've got Caroling by Veronique Enginger. There we are.
Go the French connection.
French connections.
So one of some more details that might help some people is one of the characters is in the British Army and he arrives in Albany, New York. So you got New York, you got Britain, and then you got the French and Indian War. So there's some other things to kind of link into that movie.
Are you going to New York again with the World Traveller Bookshelf?
I'm going to New York.
That's a great piece. It's got you covered in lots of things.
Mhm. Did you want to do one, Lisa, or are we moving on?
We're moving on. I've done one.
Okay. The next one is Rudy, 1993.
Okay. I'd never heard of this, but it had one of those guys that we really used to like back in our teenage years. So I'm going to have to watch it. I can't remember his name, but he's like from the Goonies, one of the cute guys.
Mhm.
I think. Anyway, something like that. But it's basically about a young uni student and he doesn't have a place to stay. And what I got out of the shorts that I read is that it's again a university town and he climbs in through the window and sleeps in the, I don't know, his lecturer's office or something like that. So I was trying to fit my 21 in 21 focus pieces in. So I decided that in my mind, this Springhouse trio looked like university row, college dorm houses. And at the very least, we got windows that he could climb in.
Yes.
Natalie goes, you two are so mean.
You are so mean.
I took a whole day to work these out.
Yeah. I've not seen the movie. I know nothing about it. If we're talking about university towns, well, besides also being a sporting place, St Andrews.
There you go.
Is a university town. You can see it just over on my shoulder, but this is what it looks like, and you can see part of the Royal and Ancient course there.
There you go. Yeah. And the building looks like a university type of building as well.
Well, that one's not.
No, but it looks that style.
It's that style, but it's definitely not.
No. What about you, Laurie?
I really don't have anything. I was trying to look to try to tie to some little detail. And you're right, he sneaks into a grounds house, but it's the groundskeeper of the stadium. So if you had anything with an arena or like a garden hut, or I don't know, you could kind of link it to the groundskeepers,
Yeah, well, lots of gardening sort of ones, so that could be a good link for some people.
Yeah. So the next movie is Muriel's Wedding, 1994.
Bet you know that one, Natalie.
I do know that one. We head on down to Pauper's Spit.
Muriel's Wedding is, she gets into trouble for shoplifting really out there 1980s dresses. early 1990s dresses to wear to weddings. So I decided that this South American angel was wearing a very early 1990s out there dress. So that's my link.
So it's totally out there. I would have had stitched on Anzac if I hadn't have finished it because it's set in Porpoise Spit.
Exactly, in Australia. Do you have any fancy ladies?
I've got some fancy ladies. I'd have to just pull out a fancy lady. Yeah.
Do you know the one you just did before, your blonde lady? She was in a pretty, like her lily dress was very,
oh yeah, Iris,
you know, bridesmaid 80s sort of dress.
Yeah, it is pretty floofy.
Very. Laurie, you don't know people.
I don't. So there's a few things in the movie though that possibly you could tie in, like she enters a conspiracy to marry a swimmer that's on the Australian Olympics, I believe. Yeah, the swim team. So there you go. Water, like a swimmer, maybe Australia world. I don't know. Your Anzac pieces. A lot of people have done Anzac, maybe. Yeah, but this is really hard. I don't do people, you're right. So I'm not finding anything that I could twist.
Do you have anything
into.
with dolphins? Because like Nat keeps saying, she comes from Porpoise Spit, and that's a body of water where there's dolphins.
I'm
Or
looking.
Beach,
or a beach.
yeah.
Cozy Cove.
Cozy Cove, and I was looking at the Kraken piece to see if there was a dolphin in it, but no, there's not. So Cozy Cove it is.
Yep, like there you go. Beautiful. All right, what's
Thank
next?
you. 1995 Empire Records.
Okay, again, I'd never seen it, and it's about music.
Yeah,
And
about
I
music.
decided to take that as my link. Again, trying to make my 21 fit. On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me is a song. So I made it fit. The music.
And I would do my caroling, again, music.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I don't have anything, so I'm moving on.
Yeah, it's got like youth in it, and it's a young company, record company, so business. You can probably get away with a building or anything with sort of teenagers or something that teenagers might use or wear. But yeah, they're quite tricky.
It is. I was trying to see what city it was set in to see if I could do world travel, but
Well,
yeah,
you
no, I don't.
probably can. I can't remember which city it was because it was in America, so I didn't pay attention. Empire Records, I feel like it's New York or Chicago,
Yeah,
but I can't remember. I'm not American.
don't
But I have
know.
heard of Empire Records.
Yes, I have. Yeah. Okay. I'm moving on for time's sake. The First Wives Club, that's 1996.
Okay. I went purely with the name. I'm sure there was some first wives doing the stitching in A Stitch in Time, particularly, you know, this one talking to the guy. I sort of feel like maybe that's his first wife and that's his second wife and that's his third wife. I don't know. I just find it odd that there's only one guy.
Well, I think Silver Moon Tea, she looks like a housewife. A very that was not a very glamorous housewife, but a housewife nonetheless.
Yeah. So I would do probably Nevermore, and I'll tell you why. It's after a funeral that these friends reunite. And so Nevermore in the graveyard, and I'm trying to get it to come up on my computer with the graveyard there. So that's my tie-in. Okay, Soul Food, 1997.
Okay, again, I did actually look up the movie, hadn't seen it. Centers around basically a family dinner and the importance of family dinner. And so I just thought, well, people sitting around a table, I have these two witches around the table. And then I went, duh, pumpkins. You have a roast pumpkin with your roast for family dinner. So my soul food is a roast dinner.
I have very little with food, although there is, oh, here we go. We've got fish and chips just down here in the corner of London, and we've also got a high tea happening just here.
Maybe you should get the Supersize Max colour one of that now, because it comes in so handy.
I really want to UFO it though.
I know you do, but maybe you should UFO it and start the better version. Laurie, what do you think?
I have seen this movie, and a few things that could help people tie other things in is it's set in Washington, D.C. So that's one. On my world travel, I gotta blow this up because I'm not sure if it's the National Monument or the Empire State Building. Oh, I think that's Chicago. Anyway, Washington, D.C. is one. One of the characters owns or works in a beauty shop. So you have that kind of thing. There is the food, and then there's family. It's a lot of the members of the family who are now older, still coming back to mom's house kind of thing. So you have that. So you have sisters and their husbands, and anyway, so there's lots. There's people, family, food, Washington, D.C., and that kind of thing. But I have.
You could do your house.
My house,
your house. I'm saying you in general.
As the leaves turn. Yes.
Yeah, you could do you could do as your leaves turn, Laurie. Is that what you're going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just that there seems to be a family, and then there's foodstuffs.
Yeah, that would fit very well.
Yeah. Then we have Pleasantville, 1998.
Okay. Pleasantville, again, I went purely for the name. What am I doing? I don't want to do that. I don't want to share. I don't know. Hopefully you can still see me. I can't see myself. I've got something over me. I would do my
Fairy Tale Village.
Because that looks like a very Pleasantville.
Yeah.
I have to bring out London again, don't I? Because over here we've got a bit of Notting Hill, which is a very pleasant village in London.
I also would do probably World Travel Bookshelf and try to tie that in. The next one is Fight Club. No, wait, I did Pleasantville. Fight Club, yes, 1999.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, again, I'd never seen this either. Seems to be something to do with a guy with mental health issues setting up a fight club. So I've gone for Once Upon a Fairy Tale where there's two knights fighting.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't think of anything in your whips, Natalie.
No.
London with your beefeater, maybe?
Not really.
No.
No, nothing about secrets. No, I just don't have anything like that. No. Keep going.
What do you got?
Laurie?
I'm trying to see where Fight Club is set, but I honestly have nothing.
Well, you have the fairy tale as well.
That's true. One of the main characters, he's suffering from insomnia. So anything to do with sleeping or dreams or something like that. It's set in a dilapidated industrial area. So if you have anything urban, that might help as well. So yeah, but I have nothing.
As I said, they're quite challenging.
They really are.
Really challenging.
Yeah, it's good though. Gets the brain moving.
Nice. 2000 is Almost Famous.
Oh, did I miss one? Well, okay. You might have to tell us about that one first. Oh, no, I've got it. That's right.
You have it? Okay.
I've written them in the wrong order on my page. Almost famous. Something to do with writing letters, following a trail of letters. I went literally with my alphabet sample. Following letters.
Writing letters, like it. Okay. I could do London again because there's a quote on there by Bernard Johnson, who was a writer, an author. So there's like a bit of bookage, but it's a bookshelf. So
yeah,
there we go. So any of the bookshelves could work as well.
And I think a really good one for samplers too, with their little passages things.
Yeah.
What do you got, Laurie?
The movie partly centers around Rolling Stone magazine or music. So you could also go in that direction as well. I don't have anything besides world travel, because there's a scene in there where the main character shows up at a New York restaurant, kind of uninvited. So New York, world travel bookshelf. There you go.
Oh, you just said restaurant. So any of those little cafe scenes, things with food, the cutlery we talked about earlier. You could have your tea and cookies, Natalie, in your teacup dragon.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, what's next?
Hardball, 2001.
Okay. Hardball, again, sport. But this one actually centers around a little league team. So I decided to fit in my numbers sampler with a really, really little league team playing in it.
They're very little.
But
yeah. Well, if it's little league, I'm guessing there's a bat and a ball.
Yep.
There we go. It's a cricket bat and a cricket ball, but it's a bat and a ball.
That's true. Yeah, I don't think I have anything, and I'm trying to see where it's set to see if that would help. But I don't have little boys, I have little girls, and I don't have any little sport things, so nothing for me. Okay, let's go with Sweet Home Alabama.
okay. This one centers around engagement and preparation for a wedding. And again, fitting my whips in, I felt that needlework ABCs would be important, because as you're preparing for a wedding, you've got to make the wedding gown and the flowers. So I'm doing that one to tie in that way.
Now, the thing I remember from that is the beach scene where there was the lightning and doing where there was the artistry of the lightning being, and lightning conductors conducting lightning into sand and creating art. And for some reason that connects in my mind to Night Walked Down with the Moon in her hand.
I can see that connection.
Got it. I would do Cozy Cove for the beach scene.
Yeah.
Okay, Under the Tuscan Sun.
I love this movie.
Okay, again, I'm pretty literal. Tuscany, Italy, so is Rome and Santorini, I think. So my wall postcards, those Italian places that I could link to Tuscany.
Exactly. It's a movie about family and friends and creating family out of friends. But I read the book first, and the book is all about food. And so London, with lots of food in it.
The food.
I would do World Travel Bookshelf again. Okay, Ladder 49.
Again, never seen it.
No.
But it's to do with firefighting and a boy who's grown up in fire stations. And again, I was trying to stretch it to fit this whip in. but there is a fire in the house. You can see the smoke coming out of the chimney. So I am going to connect 1 with the fire and 2 because they get out onto a ledge or like a veranda of the fire. So I thought that house at the bottom could fit in with the story.
Look at that candle there. That's a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about as creative as I'm getting with that one.
Yes.
You could probably do staircases if you had something with
I
staircases.
don't have staircases.
No.
Yes. I don't really have anything other than, here we go. I'm going to share this again. World Travel Bookshelf has a ladder, and firemen often use ladders. So
Perfect.
that's my.
Yeah. I think that works well. Now you've only got 1 more to go.
1 more to go. Corpse Bride.
Okay. Just happened that I had my 20 of my 21 whips covered with this challenge. I'm really happy. There you go. Spooky Hollow. Come on. It's not a corpse bride, but there's corpse and other things that closely relate.
Yeah.
I will kind of feed off that Halloween-y theme and bring out playing with Jax.
Especially that middle guy. He looks like a ghostly corpse pumpkin.
Yeah. He does look a bit like Jack as well.
Yes.
So.
I would do a Nevermore because there's a graveyard there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all about movies. Now, the other prompts are not quite this detailed. The next challenge would be seasons change. And there's only 3 prompts in there. Each has a 500 stitch count required. And you can do 1, 2, or 3, of course, all 3. So the first prompt is stitch on something that you would consider to be fall colors: browns, yellows, oranges.
I haven't actually prepared my my colors yet. And this one is 500 stitches.
Yes.
Do we need to stitch the 500 in the colors or just on a piece that has the colors?
No, it just says something with what you would consider fall colors in it. So not actually on the colors.
Feel free to jump in if you want now.
Yeah. I've got Bloom and Grow. So we've got flower pots with the yellows and oranges and the flowers with yellows and oranges.
I could do a few things, so I'm going to share my whole whip list. I could do As the Leaves Turn. Obviously, that's a fall scene. But I could also go with like Coffee Quaker because it has the browns in it. Even though it's not fall. And let's see if there's anything else in here because I like fall. Yeah, but anything with pumpkins, that would work.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's where I'd have to go because I want to double dip. So probably my Scary Halloween.
Yeah.
Because that's got a lot of orange in it.
Okay. The second prompt is stitch on something with what you consider spring colors: pinks, greens, yellows, blues.
Easy. Fairy Tale Village looks like a beautiful little Pleasantville in spring.
And Bloom and Grow comes out again.
That's good. I knocked that over, so that's good now.
Yeah. I would do The Bee Comes.
Nice.
Yep. Number 3, stitch on something that signifies change to you: different seasons, weddings, births, anything that signifies change.
I did work this one out. I just got to find it. I've already shown you, but I just want to show you with the picture up. Chinese garden mandala.
Look at that. It's got all the 4 seasons in it.
4 seasons in the corners.
Perfect.
Yeah. I could bring out Maidens of the Seasons again.
You could, definitely.
Mm-hmm. I would do possibly grounding force because butterflies are often considered symbols of change or metamorphosis.
Mm.
Okay. And that does it. Go back to the next prompt. There is an anagram challenge to kind of use the letters in the words pop culture. So
Well, we might just jump through this quickly and not make Natalie have to think.
yes, and that's a 200 stitches for each letter.
Well,
And
I
you
need
have
help.
to match it to either the title of the whip or the designer or the artist, even if it's like from a design house.
My P is for postcards. My O is for Once Upon a Fairy Tale. You don't have to do, there's 2 P's and 2 U's, you only have to do 1. So my C is Chinese Garden Mandala. I haven't got a U, so think about a U. My L is myself for my sampler, because my name's Miss Light. My T is Twin Peaks Design Scary Halloween. I don't have an R, which I'm sure I have an R somewhere, I just haven't found it yet. And I'm hoping I can do the name in reverse for this one, because my Elliot Joan is my E for Christmas Eve, or my Christmas Eve. So the second name of both the artist, the designer, and the piece. So I'm going to quickly share you guys my whip list, but again, you don't, I'm only doing the 21. Do any R's or U's jump out at you? I'll go to the top.
No, do you have any Ursula Michaels pieces?
No, I don't. That was who thought came to my mind for you, and I don't.
Or anything that starts with unicorn something.
I don't have unicorns. I don't have Under the Sea.
In your fairy tale bookshelf, there's no unicorns in there? Well, it's really has to start with, so I guess not.
It's not in the picture, yeah. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to get the U, but I thought maybe I might get an R. I have to look up the designers of all my pieces.
Yes.
Nana jumping out at me.
No, it's hard.
Anyway, if any of the viewers know any, saw any that were R's or U's, please comment below.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you, Laurie?
That would be really hard. I chose not to do this one because I have a very limited amount of whips.
Yep.
So I'm probably not even going to attempt it because I only have like 10 whips, 15 whips.
Oh, I found an R, The Rocks.
There we go.
The Rocks, that's the name of it. Cool. Very cool. So the next one is Actor Spotlight, and it's featuring Robin Williams. So I'm just trying to get my to update here. So the prompts vary in this challenge, and they vary greatly. So read on. So the first one is stitch on 470 stitches on your favorite project.
Okay.
It really doesn't have to be
for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So prompt number 2, Jumanji. 900 stitches on a project that you can link to the movie, like animals, or it feels like you've been working on it forever, etc. And for the 900 stitches, you would get 10 points.
So 900 stitches is quite a lot. I've decided I'm going to do my Terra Australis sampler because there are animals on it and I need to get it finished. So I know I'll definitely do 900 on it. I'll take the animal thing, even though you thought I'd pick my Animal Kingdom. No. Or my Anzac. You got anything that comes to mind for that, Natalie?
I've got plenty of whips with lots of animals in it. Yeah.
I'm doing Nevermore because it has the bird in it, and plus it is there's a border at the bottom and it's really big and I feel like it goes on forever.
Fair enough.
Okay, the next movie is Flubber. It is for 5 points, stitch 500 stitches on a project that you think you can get, or sorry, that you get so wrapped up in that you forget about other things.
I'm going to wait and see how my stitching goes because lots of my projects I get wrapped up in.
Yeah. I would say one that I do tend to get wrapped up in and move quickly on when I do stitch on it is surprisingly Bloom and Grow.
Oh,
Yeah, I found myself just kind of stitching on it, and then at the end of the day it's like, oh, whoops, 1,000 stitches done.
great.
Very nice. I think I would continue with Nevermore, just because, you know, the border's really regular, even though it goes on forever, and you don't have to spend a lot of time counting it. Just kind of goes in a regular pattern.
Nice.
And I did
The
ask
next-
one of the admins, and as far as I know, unless they specifically say you can double dip.
Got it.
Okay.
So number 4, Good Morning Vietnam. So stitch 500 stitches on a project that you can tie to this movie. Comedy, funny, 1960s, military. Vietnam's a jungle, so etc. Yeah.
I went military with
Mhm.
terrorist roles.
I could go military with London because there's a Queen's Guard there. And you look kind of sus, so my Among Us, because that's quite funny. So
I can't remember what I chose to do, but I would probably go with World Travel Bookshelf because it had the Yeoman Warders, the Beefeater Guards from London in there as soldiers.
yeah.
Executive soldiers, but soldiers. Prompt number 6, it's a bonus. So there's bonus number 1, prompt number 6, do 1,000 stitches on a project that you can tie to one of the following Robin
Hold on.
Williams
You missed one.
movies.
You
I
missed
did?
hook.
Hook. Oh, thank you so much.
All right.
So number 5, 500 stitches on a project that you had to restart or could be tied to magic.
I would use my spooky hollow because I'm quite sure that the dancing skeletons were caused by magic.
Mhm.
I would stitch on Zoe because I had to restart it and it's got unicorns in it.
Yes. I would stitch on my ink circles get Kraken because the Kraken is magic.
Nice.
The bonus prompt, 1,000 stitches to tie to any one of the Robin Williams movies. Good Will Hunting, RV, Jack, What Dreams May Come, Mrs. Doubtfire. Do as many as you like. And each time you do 1,000 stitches, you get 15 bonus points.
Nice.
I have only come up with one for the moment because I'll save the rest. And I actually went with Mrs. Doubtfire. And Mrs. Doubtfire is a guy dressed up as a girl wearing big flowing dresses. So I thought my stitching time.
Yep. And I've got a whole bunch of pretty ladies, big flowing dresses.
Because Mrs. Doubtfire is so pretty.
I did As a Leaf's Turn because in What Dreams May Come, the actor passes away and he's in his imaginary, whatever comes to his mind, his imaginary place or his idyllic scene. And this to me is an idyllic scene. So the next prompt is Tilton Crafts. Any pattern that calls, Tilton Crafts has a pattern called Faces of Robin. If you stitch this pattern during the month of September, you will receive 2 points for every 100 stitches you do. So it's very specific. And that is the end of Actor Spotlight. And I think that does it for pop culture.
I think so. There's so many options. So if you're interested and you want to have some choices, then join the group. I'll try and put a link in the description box so people can find it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that then takes us to our usual of the daily 30, Natalie.
That's right. I hope everybody's got a drink because you got themselves a fresh cup of tea because that was something to get through.
It was.
All right. So with Daily 30, we have got this September Smalls Monthly Challenge. So they talk about what a small is. It's all relative. For some, it could be an ornament. For others, it could be a quick stitch or a story keep hate. It's all about what's small to you. But this month, Daily 30 is looking at a focus on the small things in our stash. All prompts are 300 stitches or 3 hours. There are no alternate stitches. So the first prompt is stitch on your smallest width. Laurie.
My smallest width is around the world. It's 127 by 127.
My smallest whip is ink circles treble clef, 62 by 61. Very close to a finish.
Very small. My smallest whip, I think my smallest whip is this one. I don't know exactly how large it is, but it's pretty small.
Smaller than caroling?
Smaller than caroling.
Okay.
Yeah. Caroling's actually surprisingly big because of the border around it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okie dokes. Number 2, stitch on a whip with the smallest number of stitches that have been completed, but is not a new start for this prompt.
This was a challenging one for me because a lot of my whips, especially my 21 that I'm focusing on at the moment, are quite well progressed. There is one that I'm actually thinking of restarting, and it's the one that I think still has the least number of stitches, and that's actually my Big Red Ship of Life. See, all my ones from now on, I don't show you. You've already seen them.
Yeah.
Laurie?
For me, Get Kraken. I already showed that, but yeah, I just have like the words done. That's it.
Maybe this is also my smallest whip, but certainly the one with the least number of stitches is Celtic Beasties or Not. These are like little ornaments. They're quite small, and I've kind of been stitching on them a little bit, but not. So, yeah. All right. Number 3, stitch on a whip with the least number of colours charted.
Laurie?
I think for me, that is actually Nevermore. Yeah.
For me, it's Anzac because it's only got one. My Christmas Eve has 2, so Anzac has to win.
There we go. For me, it's this Biscornu, which is also monochromatic. Number 4, stitch on a whip with something that is usually small in the design. What have you got, Laurie?
Coffee Quaker. A coffee bean is small.
Coffee bean is small.
Okay, something that's usually small. I took that to mean something that was big in the picture but usually small. So I went for this hoop and embroidery scissors in the middle because they're a very big size.
I think I will stitch on. Actually, no, I can stitch on. No, I think I'm putting that one into my zombie run. I can't do it. My honeybee pin drum, because bees are small. What have we got next? Stitch on a whip that has something that is out of proportion to how it should be. So is there a person that's bigger than a house, or a bee and a horse that are the same size? Those are just a couple of examples that are given. What?
I would do Nevermore because the bird is the biggest thing.
And that's exactly what I thought of when I went, well, I know what Laurie's going to do. And for me, I know I've shown it before, but I would actually pick my Scary Halloween because I feel that pumpkin is extremely huge.
It's crazy big. Mine is going to be the scent of lilies, because have you ever seen a lily flower that is that much larger than a person's head? Very out of proportion. A popular small to stitch is a biscornu. In order to make the design assemble properly, it needs to be square. Stitch on a whip that is a square in the design.
I was disappointed. I thought they were going to say stitch on a biscornu, and I was going to go, I have one of them.
Yeah. Well, you can still stitch on a biscornu because it would have a square in the design anyway. You'd have to go on your Asian garden. What are you going to do?
I'm going to do my postcards because the postage stamps are square.
I'm going to share one more time because in Nevermore, there's a motif that's square in here. Right there.
Some of those.
Yeah, okay, great. I would probably get out the biscornu again.
Well, yours has a border to make it square.
That's right. Or I could stitch on one of the Celtic beasties because those designs are square as well.
Cool.
What are we up to? We are up to number 7. Many Christmas stitches are small, with trees adorned with beautifully stitched ornaments being popular. Stitch on a Christmas whip.
Laurie?
I have one at the moment, but I'm going into my to be started. And I have some that I want to start. So I'll show my screen to enable maybe. I really like Smitten. It's an older pattern, but I do like it. So I would probably start that one.
That would work.
That is very cute.
You've already bowed out of the challenge. You can start something.
Yeah.
I've got 2 choices for this one. I could do my 12 days of Christmas or my Christmas Eve. So double dipping with either one of them. I know what you're going to pick.
What am I going to do?
Well, your choice between caroling or Joy and Noel.
You're right. It will be either Joyo, Noel, or caroling.
Yep.
And number 8, stitch on a whip that is on your smallest count of fabric. So this is basically a 40 count, or if you normally stitch 14 count Ada, then maybe you might be stitching on something that's 32 count or 16 count Ada. What have you got, Lise?
Well, this is where I have a bit of a quandary. In my 21 that I'm currently focusing on, because I'm trying to do 21 and 21, I would say actually an 18 count Ada, which would be one of my many hates, which is fine. Mm-hmm. But if I'm going to take it as far as my actual whips go, then I would have to do some work on the 40 count with my hook run hollows. So I feel like it's probably that I'm going to have to break my 21 and 21 for the sake of this prompt.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Laurie?
Okay. Yeah. Repeat the prompt one more time to make sure I'm not running trails.
Stitch on a whip that is on your smallest count of fabric.
Got it.
And if all of your fabric is the same count, stitch on a whip of your choice.
Okay. Most of my whips are on 40 count, and that's as small as I can get it. So I would just pick one, like Coffee Quaker or Nevermore or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I would choose to stitch on Scent of Lilies because that's also on 40 count. Oh, that's me. It's my turn again. Stitch on a whip of your choice and show your smallest pair of scissors or needle minder in your starting picture.
Okay,
So that's a pretty easy one.
But I'm just going to say on that one, like we don't need to talk about our whip of choice, but I figured I would do needlework ABCs because it has a small pair of scissors on it.
Lovely.
And lucky last.
Lucky last. Number 10, DMC numbers range from 001, which is white tin, to B5200. Stitch on a whip that has your lowest number thread. It doesn't have to be DMC, and stitches do not have to be in that colour. Be sure to include a picture of the thread list. Oh.
I haven't looked exactly, but I know that my Once Upon a Fairy Tale has at least 09 in it and 07 because that was the one that got charting issues.
Yeah.
So I know I've at least got that one with zeros in it.
Yeah.
Laurie?
I would probably do Azalea's turn because it has, I believe, the 01 white in it. If not, I would go with Around the World because I know it has B5200.
Well, that's true. The Blanc is 01. So if you have the actual Blanc,
yeah,
the B5200 is actually at the other end.
Yeah.
Can't do the B5200.
Oh, it would be at the other end. Okay. So yeah, I would do the
Yeah. What do you got now? Any with Blanc?
Okay, so Teacup Dragon has number 303.
Well, that's good. There we go.
There we go.
Lovely.
And let's just check and see what about London. No, that one goes as low as 150.
Go. It's an older one, obviously.
It's an older one. So yeah, Teacup Dragon.
A bit of research to do, people. find your smallest. Yes. All right, so that's the daily 30. No New Starts has got the monthly coming up, but it's in the middle of the month, so I'm going to leave it to talk about in the middle of the month because we're going quite long at the moment. Yeah. And the Ultimate Cross Stitch group has 2 challenges. One's called Dear Diary, and it actually wants you to keep like a diary record of your stitching each day, which sounds like a fun thing to do. And they're continuing the view from my window. So if you're interested in some fairly easy challenges, check out the Ultimate Cross Stitch group. What about Semi-Sane, Laurie?
Okay. For September, Semi-Sane has, of course, the continuation of the Focus Challenge, which is basically stitching 1,000 stitch increments on your focus piece. And this does require a start word or password to show in your photos. I don't know that there's any details that I really need to point out other than your handwritten word, stitch 1,000 stitch increments. If you've been doing this challenge month after month, you get some allowances for repeating the same whip. So I would just read the details on that to see if your situation qualifies for those incentives for using the same whip in consecutive months. The next monthly would be, waiting for my computer screen to update, whip days. September whip days. So the highlights here, September 3rd, Skyscraper Day. Work on a whip with a cityscape. And then, do you want to do these one by one?
Yep.
Okay.
I know what you're going to do. I know what both of you are going to do for the cityscape.
Yep. All right. I will be doing London because it's got skyscrapers. Boom, boom, done.
Ooh, I have to do a different one. If I do this one, I think I mentioned it in my weekly. Where's the mouse gone? Don't tell me the mouse has died. I would have to do this one. My Pretty Little Sydney, because it has a skyscrapers in it.
Yeah.
Remember, you only have to do one of these to get the point.
Yeah, I would do World Travel Bookshelf. I've shown it several
Yeah.
times. So. Okay, next one, September 9th, Teddy Bear Day. We're gonna whip with a teddy bear in it.
I don't have any with a teddy bear.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I have one with a teddy bear, but if I did, it would be my number sampler.
There it is.
Well, I don't know.
3.
Oh, yeah, there he is. He's got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. So I would do my number sampler.
Yep. And I don't have a teddy bear either, so move along. September 22nd, Hobbit Day. Work on the Lord of the Rings. Work on a Lord of the Rings piece or a Hobbit themed whip.
No.
Nope.
Me neither. September 26th, Astronomy Day. Work on a whip that has stars in it.
Night walked down.
I'm not going to. Well, this gives you a slight different take on stars, but I'm not going to work on this one. But my Train of Dreams has stars, particularly in the middle of the train. I was thinking about the stars in the sky, but I could do my Once Upon a Fairy Tale actually, because I know there's stars in the sky there. But your Quaker stars and things would count as well.
Yep.
True.
Anything with an American flag or flags with stars.
Yep.
Very true. Very true. So I have 2 of those, but I will just blow up World Travel really quick and say there's stars in the night sky in several places.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
So that does it for whip days. Then we get into the more interesting challenges. Crazy domino effect is one. So basically this is really close to the riff off that's in No New Starts, where you will link projects together. The object is to link them together, but never 2 times in a row.
And the biggest difference is in this one, the domino effect, is you've got to increase your stitch count each time. So you start off with, say, 50 stitches, then you do 100, then 150. So yeah, read the fine print. It's
Got it.
Yeah, could get there quite fast.
Yeah.
Okay, you need a starting and ending of each and how you link them when you post your pictures. Your entries will depend on how many whips you go through. You will stitch and link your whips when you level up on your chosen level. So the levels are level 1, 25 stitch increments, level 2, 50 stitch increments, level 3, 100 stitch increments, and they do have a level 4, which is non-counting. So each time you level up, you change your whips and explain to us how you're linking them. You must have at least 10 whips for this event. So look at your whip list, and if you don't have 10, it doesn't qualify.
That's quite a few stitches, even if you do the 25 stitch increment.
Yes, and let's go through the example that they provide. If you choose level 1, you do 25 stitches in whip number 1. Then you switch to whip number 2, and then you have to do 50 stitches. Then on whip number 3, you have to do 75, etc.
So it adds up fast. But you could get a good kickstart if you double dip to that with the whip riff off that's happening tomorrow for us, Friday.
Yeah, I know. Golly,
at least
I better get that ready.
You had. Well, yes, that's you. Woo.
That's me.
So anyway, you could get a good start and double dip those 2 events.
Yeah.
It just, you'll be doing more stitches for the riff off than you need. Okay, and what else they got, Laurie?
Stitch Mungie. So it's a month-long event. Let me get to the more details here. Yeah, when you go to the post, it says more details, and then you have to dig into the details. And you do need a game board. Ooh. Sorry, I'm not as prepared.
Do you want me to summarize it really quickly?
Yes, that will help. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. If you think of it a bit like Stitchopoly, it's Jumanji. There's a game board. You move your little marker around the game board. When you land on a place, you roll a dice. When you land on the place, you do that many stitches before you move on. Some of the places have a playing card instead of a stitch amount. You've got to go to that card and see what you've got to do. That's the simple version. Finish, a board, select another board, go around again. So a bit like Stitchopoly. There is a crazy version as well because of this semi-sane where you're going to be going around whichever board you like, and then the admins are going to go change to board number 2, and then you're going to have to find the spot you're on. So if you're on point 5, you're going to start on point 5 on board 2 and then continue from there, and then they're going to change board to number 6, and then, you know. So if you want something that's going to keep you on your toes, do the crazy version. But if you want simple, it's just like Stitchopoly. So fun, easy. Different game boards have different numbers of stitches, but they're basically between 50 and 300 stitches. So pretty good to do.
Pretty good.
Thank you, Lisa.
Saying?
That is it.
All right, full coverage fanatics, Nat.
That's me, full coverage fanatical. Here we go. So this month we've got, for the bookshelf challenge, September is science fiction month. We have 3 books. We've got The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, The Handmaid's Tale, and Dune. So in order to stitch for the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you need 1,930 stitches. Handmaid's Tale is 3,140 stitches, or Dune 6,880 stitches. The themes are galaxies, outer space, steampunk machines, and exotic landscapes. Your task is either to stitch the number of pages listed on any full coverage project of your choice. You can stitch 1 book's worth or all 3, and that's the counting challenge. The non-counting challenge is to choose 1 full coverage project for each book to fit the theme listed. You don't need to keep track of the stitches if you choose the non-counting challenge. You can also choose to match your project to the theme and count your stitches, but you don't have to do that. That is that. What do you have that fits galaxies, outer space, steampunk, or exotic landscapes?
In full coverage.
In full coverage.
Once Upon a Fairy Tale.
Oh, yes.
Because of those stars we talked about before. World Traveller Bookshelf.
Yeah.
What about you, Nat?
In my full coverage.
It's got to be full coverage.
It has to be full coverage. I don't have steampunk there or science fiction. I've got fantasy, but it's not steampunk or science fiction.
Big bonbon for Natalie.
Yeah, it's. I've got a moon, silver moon tea, and even though it's Mirabilia, it is full coverage.
Well done.
Here we go.
You got one.
I've got
Amazing
one.
what you can do when you think on your feet out of the box.
Yeah. Laurie, do you have anything that's full coverage that fits that?
Oh, World Travel Bookshelf, definitely.
Of course. Yeah. All right. What else do we have for full coverage? We've got History Month Long Challenge. Sorry, the History Month Long Challenge. There we go. It's still a long challenge. Our checklists. Here we go. September History Checklist Planner. Here comes the PDF. Okay. We've got Louis the Sun King of France. He dies. The theme is celestial bodies. We have a theme for jungle animals. We've gone through both of those before. We've also got the Great Fire of London, started on the 2nd of September, 1662.
You're right for that one, Natalie.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Now, choose to stitch on any project using the date. And the date is the year date, and that year date is the number of stitches you need to do. So, for example, Great Fire of London, 1662, you need to do 1,662 stitches. And 1,930 stitches on a theme of things that fly.
You have things that fly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can show you this one because this is the same as your thing that fly. Well, one of your things fly. Does he fly? The dragon?
He doesn't have wings.
He doesn't fly.
No wings, cannot fly.
Oh, then he can't fly.
Mm.
All right, I don't have anything that flies.
Oh, what about your Disney gallery? I saw Tinkerbell.
Yeah.
You've got your lion and lamb. You've got
Yeah.
the angel there with her wings.
She's gone there. But she's not part of my 22, but yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that would work. What have you got to fly, Laurie?
A World Travel Bookshelf again has airplanes in it.
It does.
Very good. And what do I have that might be flying? I have, Eros, the statue of Eros, who's just up there. Even though he's bronze and on a pedestal, he flies. And there's a crow as well in there.
Can't get rid of that piece now.
Get rid of it. As much as I can
Restart the bigger one with all the colours and the.
You wanna.
But then you'll have to detail you want.
Henry Hudson maps the island of Manhattan in 1609. So the theme is ships or maps. 1824, Anton Bruckner is born, and the theme for that is music or musical instruments.
Well, I would do my Disney for that because there's music there.
Ships or maps, so that would be your world traveller bookshelf.
Or Get Kraken. Oh, that's not a full coverage. So yes,
Not full coverage. What else have we got? I'm just pulling out some random ones. Oh, here we go. 15th of September 1890. So 1,890 stitches on books, mysteries, or hidden things, because Agatha Christie was born on that day.
Well, any of the Amy Stewart bookshelves will fit for that.
It's a good one for a bookshelf.
Yeah.
And let's just pull out another one. 24th of September in 1936, the Muppet creator Jim Henson was born. The theme for that is toys, children, and magical creatures.
Ooh, that's broad. All right, I'm going to show you this because we haven't seen this one yet. Up close.
There we go. Oh, there's plenty of magical creatures there.
And children and toys.
So
lots of choices there for full coverage.
Yeah, lots of choices. I think the History Sprint Challenge for September is going to be a lot of fun. Is there anything else? Let's see. No, that's it.
Okay.
The full coverage fanatics.
Another thing, it's not quite a monthly, but it kicked off today, is the Amazing Race, which is a new group as well. And we're doing a whole bunch. It's in a group called So You Think You Can Stitch, based on reality TV shows. So we headed off today, and the first thing we had to do was a detour, and we had to stitch on either our most expensive piece or our smallest piece. And I think it was 75 or 85% of the team had to pick the same one. So it needed a bit of coordinating. So yeah, lots of fun. So tell you more about that as it progresses. Have I forgotten any, Laurie? I always forget something, but I think I might have got them all.
I think we got them all.
Okay. Well, if we forgot anyone, we're sorry.
Yeah.
There's the monthlies that we wanted to share with you today. So thanks for joining us. You can now go off and get your planning head on, because there's a lot to plan, particularly if you want to join the pop culture challenge, because lots of different options.
Lots of planning to do. And speaking of planning, I need to get ready for Riff Off.
Yes.
Starts tomorrow.
Anything you want to say about that, Natalie? Any heads up for people?
Heads up, Well, it's going to be a little bit off the cuff. It will be running very much the same as it did last time. 200 stitches per whip, and yeah, just make sure that the links between are logical and tell the story.
And can I just say, she's a very, very specific marker, so it's got to be very logical and very clear, the link, or she won't give it to you.
Isn't that right, Lisa? I've refused some of yours.
I know. She didn't like one of mine you didn't like, but it's all right. Fine. She's very specific, and that's good. So yes, this is not one of the ones where you can spin a story and make it a bit flowery. It's got to be precise.
Yeah, you got to show me where it is.
All right, well, thanks for joining us, guys. See you guys next month or next week. Bye.
Thank you.